I think when I was born, I was so surprised to see Africa still like this. As the young people, how far have you moved towards the agenda of Kwame Nkrumah? How far have you moved towards the agenda of Julius Mwalimu Kambarage Nyerere? How far have you moved towards the agenda of Patrice Lumumba?
Of Congo.
Yes, of Congo. The late, who died in 1961. How far have you moved towards the agenda of other Pan-Africans like Thomas Sankara?
Which agenda in specific?
I mean the agenda of African unity. How?
You guys, y'all need to take this serious, y'all. They are pushing the United States and France. They are pushing Africans to go to war. They are pushing Africans to go to war between themselves. And you guys know who benefits from the war. You guys know who benefits from the war. They are pushing ECOWAS. They are pushing ECOWAS to go to war with the Sahel region, y'all. The day is set. This is not a joke. This is not content creating. All Africans, y'all know y'all know what it means for us to be fighting ourselves. You know who benefits while we are fighting. Wake up, Africa, wake up. Hey God, wake up, Africa. They are trying to take over Africa. While we are fighting, they are going to take over Africa. Y'all wake up. Oh God. They have already given them dates. Who is going to benefit from this war? America and France. I'm not creating content, y'all. They are pushing ECOWAS. No, they are pushing. They are already set to go. They want them to go kill their brothers. They want them to go to war in their own soil. Y'all listen to this.
Senator recently spoke out during a public session, distancing Nigeria from any possible military intervention in Niger Republic. The senator stressed that Nigeria has its own internal problems to solve and should not be dragged into foreign conflicts, especially not at the bidding of external powers. He bluntly stated that if the United States wants military action, then they should use their own soldiers.
I believe that President Tinubu is not president of ECOWAS. I saw a press conference here in Washington, D.C. that the president of ECOWAS have declared that ECOWAS service ships should move to war. And that is not Nigeria, but I'm still having my reservation that Nigeria should join ECOWAS to go to war. Because if the Americans want to go to war, they should use their troops. They have almost 3,000, 4,000 troops there in Niger. They don't need to say, oh, we'll give you money, President Tinubu, we'll give you arms, just go and fight. It is dangerous to fight in our backyard. You don't know where this fight will end. Nobody knows who is sponsoring this fight. I take the advisors of President Tinubu, which I'm also one of them, will continue pleading on him not to join that fight. Since Nigerian Senate have already said, no, you can't go to war, and he needs authorization of the Senate to go to war. So I don't think it's a good idea to go to war. What they should go to the juntas to do now to put a democratic process plan. They should give us a plan for 1 year, 6 months, 2 years plan to return to civil democratic process. Since they said the president of Niger, President Bousso, have already resigned. Let us take it like that. These things happens once in a while. And I don't think any Nigerian soldier's head is good enough to be killed for another country. It's not our war. It's an internal offense. It's an internal problem of Niger people. I hope my president and my friend and my brother will understand that this is not our war. We have nothing to fight those people for. I want him not to listen to the U.S. I'm a friend of the U.S. I'm a friend of Israel. I'm a friend of UK. This is the first time I would like President Tinubu to disobey the U.S. It's not the right thing to do. We are not going to go to war. Let the U.S. and Nigeria and France have a transitional program with the soldiers. They are Niger people. They are not outside from there. So let them plan transition. In peaceful diplomacy, agreements, and all the rest of them, they should reach an agreement, concrete agreement, to return to civil rule. I'm not thinking are going to war with Niger. One, they are our blood brothers. Secondly, it is very dangerous. You don't know who will join the war. They might invade Nigeria. We already have a lot of problems with our minerals along those borders. And nobody should attempt taking us into war. We cannot go to war with Niger at all, at all. It's not the right thing to do. We must pull out of ECOWAS. If it means pulling out of ECOWAS, Nigeria should pull out of ECOWAS. If that is ECOWAS' decision. We're a sovereign nation. Nobody can toy with 250 million Nigerians. It's not possible. So I still plead, and it's just I've been watching it. I could have gone to see President Tinubu. I still plead with him not to join the war. He's chairman of ECOWAS, yes. They also have a role to play to say, I'm not going to go to war. The United States want us to go to war. France wants us to go to war. Why don't they put their soldiers and go to war? We'll give them the money to fight. Let them go to war on their own. We cannot go to war. This war is in our backyard. I plead with the president to listen to the voice of reason. The Senate have said no, and I'm joining the Senate. I wasn't in the Senate now. I was in the medicals, and I still join the majority of Nigerians telling President Tinubu not to go to war for the sake of brotherhood and the sake of Africa.
Yeah.
All member states of ECOWAS present here today have all committed elements. They have committed their own equipment. They have committed their own resources to undertake this mission. So I tell you, we are ready to go anytime the order is given. The D-Day is also decided, which we are not going to disclose. There will be no more meetings of the chiefs of defense staff. If there will be, it will be probably in the course of the operation if there is a need to adjust the operation. This is the second extraordinary meeting and the final meeting before deployment.
So, did you all hear this? Hey! Did you all hear this? Bola Ahmed Tinubu, hey, and the president of Sierra Leone and all of the ECOWAS members, they have agreed. They have agreed to the US and France pressure. Let us go and fight our own brothers. Hey! You share this video. Bola Ahmed Tinubu is destroying our continent. Oh. Bola Ahmed Tinubu has come to bury Nigeria, bury Africa.
I think the West is undermining the continent. And I think countries as Nigeria, who are pushing for invasion, are undermining the frustration of people on the continent in relation to poverty and all the struggles that they are experiencing, including the plundering of the resources of Africa. If they think it's going to be Libya, I think this time around they must think again. And if they think it's going to be Gambia, they must think again, because you have other countries, neighboring countries, who are part of the same region. I'm talking about Mali, I'm talking about Guinea, Burkina Faso, Algeria issued a similar statement.
How can you have a country and your currency is being printed outside? You say you are a sovereign nation. No, the church must speak. Look at what that young man has done. He's in his 30s. The man they are calling a dictator, look at the development he has brought to that country. He has built 2 gold refinery. Before, they carry all the gold out. He's providing employment. He's building factories, building roads, apartments, buildings, developing the nation. But you say what? He's a dictator. How? In 2.5 years, what that guy has done, you can't deceive us again. They take hold of your media and they paint Africa black. They paint us black. They say we are not. What Africa needs is not politicians. We need real leaders. Leaders who care for the nation. And unfortunately, they are able to confuse us because there are some greedy folks, little ones, they look for them and they give them money and they ask them to bring confusion. And that's what is happening. Our borders confusion all so they can exploit us. But the time has come and the church must awake and pray against some of these things and speak also. We should be able to speak truth to power. This is a truth. This is truth that is bitter in their mouth. And we need to speak it. Those big denominations, they should speak.
Direct the Committee of the Chief of Defense Staff to activate the ECOWAS standby force with all its elements immediately. order the deployment of the ECOWAS standby force to restore constitutional order in the Republic of Niger. Underscore its continued commitment to the restoration of constitutional order through peaceful means.
You know what? The first day Ibrahim Traore took over the country of Burkina Faso, this Sierra Leone president Mada Bio came directly to the Burkina Faso to congratulate Ibrahim Traore for the victory. He came and congratulate Ibrahim Traore, saying that he has did something good. They support all that he has did because this show a great meaning to African continent. But at the same time, today he has become the president of that country. He has become the chairman of ECOWAS, and now he is fighting back Ibrahim Traore and condemns all that is happening in West African countries. He said that they don't support a coup, they don't support a democratic president of any country in that region, in Sahel region. So what do this mean?
Nigeria is making a move to bring Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso back to ECOWAS. Foreign Minister Yusuf Toga says these nations are still our neighbors, our partners, and vital to West Africa's future. Despite political exits, Nigeria wants economic ties to remain intact. Their ECOWAS withdrawal disrupted key trade corridors, especially through Niger and Burkina Faso. Delays, restrictions, and rising tensions have hit regional commerce hard. Nigeria is West Africa's largest economy. If cooperation collapses, everyone, especially landlocked nations, pays the price. More than diplomacy, Nigeria wants to involve private businesses and youth in building a new model for economic unity. It is not just about government, it is about people, trade, and long-term development.
First of all, this guy just they held election just 2 weeks ago, and the election of this country has not yet even announced. The country is in black spot. They don't know who won the election, but at the same time, this guy has been sworn in as the president and has been appointed as the head and chairman of ECOWAS. What does this mean? What does this ring in our mind? So this is a game that's being played by the West. This is a game that's being played by the West because they want to make sure that they fix all the problems that occurred in West Africa. They are there to make sure that they dissolve everything that's being built by the new organization of IAS in Sahel region, because they cannot allow this to happen because they are the one losing up. Let's listen to this and come back.
We have in West Africa. They go and make Tinubu, they are not even patient enough to wait for the outcome of the petition before the court. They go and make him their chairman. And then they turn around and tell us that, oh, as for them, they love democracy. What kind of democracy do they love? In any case, who is going to benefit from military intervention in Niger? It's the West. If you take France, 1 out of every 3 light bulbs is powered by uranium from Niger. 1 out of every 3 light bulbs is powered by uranium from Niger. And yet, Niger is one of the poorest countries in the world.
Yeah. Welcome back, my people. You know, my question each and every day, I ask myself that what Africa don't know at this time? Which Africans are we having today in the name of leaders? Because all this that we are listening and we are watching about the military interventions in this country of West Africa, like Chad, Mali, and what they are going to deploy the ECOWAS military to go and deal with the government of Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger.
And then unconstitutional takeover of government, which we have clearly said it is wrong, it is not supposed to be. So we're extending olive branch to those countries, Mali, Chad, Burkina Faso, and Niger. I want them to understand that we are not enemies. We are all brothers and sisters. All that is required is the action they've taken, which is unconstitutional. They should look at that and consider and return back to democracy. That is the only issue on ground. We members of the armed forces, both in Nigeria and sister African countries, here to defend democracy, to ensure that democracy thrives well in Africa.
They are going to invent. We don't disagree that, yes, it's all right. They're going to do that. But the Africans themselves showing that they are still have that interest of fighting each other. This war that's going to be announced. We as Africans, we are the one who are going to lose a lot. We are going to lose, and nothing that we as Africans, we are going to benefit from this war, because these are all the plans of the West. They're the one who are coming up to plan all this war so that the African can fight itself. Africans can destroy themselves, can kill each other, can kill one another because of their own interests.
How would an enemy destroy Africa? Pay attention. Now you look at Africa. How would an enemy destroy Africa? By dividing the countries, by dividing the tribes, the people, so that they're going to fight each other. Because when they fight each other, it's easy to be taken advantage of. So perhaps until Africa have a unified language, you can each have your own dialect. Just like China has the Shanghainese dialect, they have a Yunnan dialect, they have Cantonese, they have different dialect, and it's fine. But they had a unified language, and that took sacrifice. I was in Ghana, it was very rampant in terms of on the ground. Like, we will see corruption everywhere around us. But in the US, there's corruption, but we don't see it.
So the African leaders, we've been speaking about the unity of Africa. We have been speaking about the boundaries for a very long time. We have been speaking about the African independent and free independent countries of Africa for a very long time. But I don't know what is really triggering African leaders not to do what they feel like it is benefiting their own countries. Because when you take a look at this at this time, all that is being done in West African countries, this is, I think, there's something that we have to appreciate, we have to support, because all that is being done there, we don't disagree. It is a coup process. It is a coup. It is not a democratic processes. These leaders are just there as the army or the military leaders who just took over the country in a coup process. But all that we have to do and think of is, what are they doing to their countries? How are their peoples benefiting from this country? Because when you listen to the citizens of these countries themselves, what they are speaking about, their leaders, they are so satisfied, they are okay, and they're happy, celebrating their leadership each and every day. They've never come up even a single day to demonstrate or to accuse, to condemn the leadership that they are getting from their leaders. They are okay compared to the democratic, who so-called democratic in African countries, the leaders who are doing nothing but just supporting and admitting everything to the former colonizers. So Nigeria's Tinubu. Nigeria is the best, I think, is the best economic country in West Africa. But Tinubu has been there for a very long time, and Tinubu is the one who has been selling out the country of West Africa, because he is submitting everything to the former colonizers. He's supporting everything that he's being asked to do, and not knowing that he's just destroying the generation of West Africa. Because when you take a look of the country of Nigeria, the country of Nigeria has a large point which is controlling a fuel or oil, but at the same time, Nigeria is among the poorest country in West Africa. Same to Mali and Niger. When you go to a country like Chad, Chad is the country in West Africa leading in a producing of uranium. But how do this country being benefit from this uranium? Mali still and Chad are the poorest country in West Africa, but yet they are sitting on the top of the best resources that's being used to produce the great things in the world. And yet today, the people who could have come up to stand and condemn all things that is being done by the West, they are still there supporting all the evil that's being introduced and come to fight Africans themselves in West Africa, instead of condemning and come together so that they can create one thing that they feel like it is going to help them. I see the military leader of ECOWAS has issued a statement saying that they are going to release a ECOWAS military to go and deal with Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. It's okay. They're going to do so, but how are you going to benefit from this? How are you going to benefit from this war that's going to start? The people who are sponsoring you, who are pushing you to do this, are the one who are going to benefit from it, because at the end of the day, they're the one who are coming up to take everything that you have in your countries. They're the one who are coming up to introduce their new policies. They're the one who are coming up to dictate on how you have to govern your countries. They're the one who are coming to issue statements on how you have to run your countries. Yet you are just there supporting you blindly without knowing what really they are doing, and you pretend to don't know what's really going on that country, yet you know and you understand everything that's coming out of that countries. This is just a trick. And these leaders of Africa, they have been entered into the trick, and they're playing the music that has been played with the West powers. Are you saying that every African country has to adhere to rule of a democracy? Because this democracy that you're always speaking about each and every day, we've been working under democracy since 1960s. Most of the countries who have been colonized and got their independence during 1960s, 1960 somethings, they are all operating and working under democracy. But the question remain the same: how do that democracy is helping our African countries? Because if this democracy is there to help, this country of Sahel have been under ECOWAS for a very long time, over 40 years. Yet this country has big problems, issues that have been affecting these countries for a very long time. So, if this organization like ECOWAS and the UN and the AU were there to help Africa, why do they help Africa during those days when these countries have been suffering, when the citizens of this country has been losing their life, when abduction and everything that has been happening towards the citizens of this country? This country has been in a poorest country over decades, since they started to work under the new organization like ECOWAS and AU. They have been watching everything that has been happening to this country. They never came up to speak, to help. Yet they are today coming out to speak, to say that by these countries withdrawing themselves from ECOWAS, they are weakening the Sahel economic organization, which are there to cover every mess that has been caused and has been there to affect these countries.
ECOWAS has a new leader, and this man is not here to play games. He's saying that he's going to be better than the previous leader, that is Tinubu, the president of Nigeria. He said that he's going to bring democracy to West Africa, if they like it or not. And listen to this part. He said that any country that got its power through a coup, the leader must step down. Any leader that got into power in West Africa by means of a coup like Capt.Ibrahim Traore, they must step down. And also those countries must return to ECOWAS. So basically, leaders of Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, they must all step down. And those countries must unite again with ECOWAS. He is saying that the people of those countries deserve to vote democracy. They deserve to vote. And that is true. I believe him in that. Except he's missing one thing. Those people of like Burkina Faso, let's take Burkina Faso for instance. Those people are out in the streets saying how much they love this man. They march wearing the face of Capt.Ibrahim Traore on their clothes, just saying how much they love him. Some people even sleep outside his palace just to protect him. They love that man. So, saying that the people of Burkina Faso should go and just vote the same guy that is already in power, that is a waste of money, a waste of time that we could be diverting to growing that country. Who is this man who just came with all this fire telling people to step down? Well, the new leader of ECOWAS is the president of Sierra Leone, Julius Maada. This president stays out of the limelight, out of the international eye, so I don't know much about him.
Africa. Tensions are rising within the Sahel region as the new ECOWAS leadership takes a hard stance. The newly appointed ECOWAS leader has publicly called on Burkina Faso's transitional president, Capt.Ibrahim Traore, to step down, citing growing instability in the Sahel and a breakdown in regional cooperation. The ECOWAS leader expressed concern over the direction of the Sahel states, especially following Burkina Faso's withdrawal from the regional bloc earlier this year, alongside Mali and Niger.
So, what can you come today and say that this is what this organization has tried to do in African countries? In those countries, this is what they have tried to cover up, maybe from everything that's happened. So when you see this organization came up and withdraw themselves, these countries, from this organization, they know what make them to do so. And I'm so grateful that the leaders who are trying to be fought themselves, they know, and they were expecting this to happen. They were never fools. They ever expected that this will happen one day. And that's why even after all that is coming out, they never shake themselves. They never worry themselves. They know, and they knew earlier that all that is happening today will one day come to happen. So they were organized themselves. And that's why I've seen this military commander of ECOWAS has come up clearly and said that he's not begging these countries to return back to ECOWAS, but he's requesting them. He's commanding. He's just issuing a command that they have to return in ECOWAS, in this organization, or they face the challenges. So they have to do it with the immediate effect before things got hurt. So after Traore came to power and do whatever they did and followed by his fellow countries, the neighboring ones like Niger and Mali, I thought that things has come to an end. So the people has just to sit down and enjoy the best leadership. But it's a point in a time where things has just started, and the Africans are watching today because and that's why we've seen the Africans are coming up. They are ready to do anything just to make sure that all that's being done in these countries cannot succeed, because if we as Africans let this to happen, then we are the one who are going to lose a lot, because the people who are making this to happen are not even Africans. And the Africans themselves, the African leaders who are in this organization, they really know clearly what's really being done in Africa. They know everything that's going on. They have to support, to stand up and maybe come up to speak themselves, to stand by themselves and do things according to their own policies. But they are still following up everything that they are being asked to do by the foreign powers, by the Westerns, because everything that's being done today, all these stories that is arising each and every day in West Africa, is not by Africans. This is not the will of Africans, but it's a will and plans of the West powers who are sponsoring and pushing African leaders to do all that is being done today. So we have a long way to go as Africans. The youth have now decided that they want to come out and speak. They want to come out and fight. And that's why Ibrahim Traore is there to show us the way that we have to do this way. So many people have speak about this. Many people have condemned this. Many people were just sitting down, watching over everything that is happening. We are there to watch over everything that is happening, and we are ready to respond to anything that will come across and maybe come like it's going to destroy all that has been built by these countries of West Africa. IAS is the only organization that today is being seen as the organization of hope towards Africa, because it came just as a young organization. But what it has started to prove to the world and to Africa is that we have to do our own. We have to produce our own. We have to work under our own. And that's why the Africans who really understand all that is being done by these leaders, they're coming out to speak about this. They're coming out to speak and defend all that's being done by Ibrahim Traore and all African leaders of a Sahel region. So those people who are speaking negatively that all these countries have to return back to ECOWAS, this is not true. And I think all this fire has just started immediately after Ibrahim Traore announced that he abolished and dissolved all electoral boundaries and board, and that Ministry of Interior is the one who are going to hold election in Burkina Faso from now, and Ibrahim Traore will be allowed to contest coming 2029 in the general election. The West are in panic because they believe that even if Ibrahim Traore came to vie for this position, automatically he will win election and become the president of this country. So he will he will assume like he was elected democratically to the office, but what he'll be doing will not be comply to what the foreign powers or the democratic powers believe that it has to be done. So he'll be doing things on his own way, and that's why they know very well that if they let this happen, then they are going to lose power and authority and the dominion, all that they were having in West African countries. So we as Africans, the one who have been suffered a lot in the hands of former colonizers, in the hands of the poor leaders and politicians of Africa who have been just working towards the interest of Africa, of the West, and not the interest of the Africans. We understand all that we are trying to fight for. We understand why we are coming out to speak about this. We are not just making a content, but we understand what really Africa has been going through, and we cannot allow this to happen and to go back where we came from, because we've tried to show to see the light. Ibrahim Traore and the Sahel region leaders have come out and start to show African lights. They have come and show Africans the new ways. They have come to show Africa that this is what we have to do. If we want to make Africa free again, if we want to make Africa develop, if we want to make Africa develop on its own way, then this is what we have to do. And they're coming to make sure that they put off everything that was started by these leaders, and the Africa of today has awakened up. The youths are awakening up, the citizens are awakening up, and they are watching. They are ready to engage with this war that is coming out, because this concerns us. The West had a lot of plans. Ibrahim Traore at this time is the only leader who is fighting against the group of angry politicians who are only there to benefit for themselves and enrich themselves, but not working under the interests of the citizens. So the West powers has planned a lot, and Africans has to do a lot to make this not to happen, because we cannot go back to the Libyan life. We cannot go back to the Congo life. If we feel like all that they are coming to do will benefit Africa, then it's just a few days, it's just a short time, then we'll come to experience what these leaders of Sahel has been trying to show Africans. The Africa have to stand up, wake up, and think before act. Don't let this to happen. Stand up with Ibrahim Traore and the all African, West African leaders, all Sahel region leaders, and condemn all that's being done towards these leaders, because they're fighting for our own interest, but not theirs. I am the Kenyan Explorer. Just tell me to go to the comment section, because we thought that this is just an end of the story, but it's just a beginning of it. So it is upon us to choose where do you want to head, because when we play around the bush, then Africa is going to be decolonized, whether we like it or not. The West have decided that they fight until they recover all that they have lost. Stay tuned until next time we come and speak about this. Speak out our views. We have to discuss about this because it concerns us. We have to speak about because it is our matter, our issue, and it concerns us, we as Africans. Until next time, just tell me to have the comment section, subscribe, so that we can come and speak other issues that affect Africa, because we have to make Africa great again.